Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O guys. We have a little problem here. Oh no. This episode. Ooh, man, was this episode did not do it. It has some problems, so to say. A lot not maybe not like particularly important, but just like writing inconsistencies in this episode in particular is very bad. Not very good at all. Episode 9. It's strange though. It's almost like this episode was written by like a different person than who wrote and directed all the other episodes. And coming off of, maybe it's not fair because episode 8 was like fucking phenomenal in the way that it was written and acted, and this episode could just not compare. But I have no. We have to like break down some of it. I'm also for sure certain that there's gonna be a season 2. I'm not. Okay, that it makes sense. I'm not maybe particularly happy about that, but definitely there's gonna be season 2 because there's no way they can wrap the season up in one more episode. There just isn't. There just isn't enough time. There's so much more stuff they have to do. So I was totally wrong about that, but that's okay. They want to milk it for another season, fine. They might even milk it for another third season. I guess that makes sense though, because the pacing for the show has been fucking ridiculous. That's not one of like the strong points of this season or of this show in particular. The pacing and the time skips, they've caused certain problems for the show that are really making it like not perfect. But we all do that anyway. I've been complaining about that anyway since for the whole series. We only have one episode left. I'm still excited to see where it goes, but this episode is not doing it for me. There's a lot of issues. Okay, let's start with it. So King Viserys is dead. Obviously, we knew that. He is dead. Finally, we salute him. Oh no, my king! It seems like after he literally died, the show went into to shit. Like, oh my god, unbelievable. So everything I thought would happen when the king is dead would happen. Otto basically is starts his coup, so to speak. However, he does it in a really strange way. He gets told the king is dead, so immediately we have a. Let me turn this down. We have a small council meeting here with all our players, and for some fucking reason, everyone here is aware. Like Otto has all these council members in his pocket, except for Alicent and Layman are over there. Right, that guy right here, right next to the Black Maester. Not Baratheon man. To the left, to the right, very in where you can barely see him. That guy. He's not in the pocket of Otto. But he's on the council. This is just the weird shit. Otto comes here. He tells everyone the king is dead. And everyone's like, oh, so our proceedings to put Aegon on the throne are going well then, and we're gonna, we're starting our coup. It's very like, what was the plan here, Otto? What very he knew like, or this is another thing. So basically, they're talking about treason. All these people are talking about treason, except for Allison, because she's not aware of this. Even and this guy Lyman. And he talks about like, I've been here since the beginning, guys. I've been with King Viserys since the first episode, and literally I had to go back. He was there. Yeah, he was. We just haven't. This is another problem with the show. He's had like no lines in the entire series. So I fucking had no idea. Like, has he been here this whole time? Yes, he has. He's been here the longest, along with Otto. But it's like, there's another problem. Not a lot of characters should have had like the limelight, have had any lines or anything, and they're just not significant enough for me to like remember them. Even though like in story they might be important, but I guess the show doesn't seem that he's important either anyway, because they just kill him right here as easily as anything else. It was so funny. As soon as Christian comes up behind him, like, oh, he's dead, right? But he doesn't. His death isn't. It's brought about upon like. It's not a smart death. Otto doesn't threaten him. Because the reason he dies is because he's not in, he's reporting treason from Otto and the rest, and he's not happy about what they're talking about. But I don't know why Otto would do that. What was your plan here? Why is he not in on the plan, right? Why is he here right now? but then Christian Cole here just like slapstick kills him out of fucking nowhere. His death. His death almost reminds me of how fucking Qyburn died. Look at this. He just kills him. Nothing was said. He's like, he's just fucking dead. And everyone's like, oh, he's dead, I guess. Oh well. Can we get rid of his body? I was like, no, we can't leave here. And there are no consequences for killing this man. We have no, he's a lord of some kind. We didn't know who. I don't exactly know whose lord he is or like what he's in charge of, but he's here on the small council, so he has some sort of fucking job, right? But now he's just dead, and he's never brought up again. So again, Otto, what was the plan here? Why have him here in the small council meeting if he wasn't in on your little treason coup in the first place? And neither was this knight. He's been here since episode 1 as well. He's been on like King Viserys' side as well. He's raising his sword to Christian. Even though Christian has no consequences in this act, almost like he drops his sword too. He doesn't fight Christian Cole here. Even though he probably should, because he just killed this man for really no reason. It's not even like Otto raised his voice. He didn't even ask Christian to kill him. Christian just sort of did it. Just sort of slammed his head there. And now he's dead, I guess. Alright, okay. What again, even in this whole act, though, Alicent isn't happy either. All 1, 2, 3, 4 of these guys are conspiring against Rhaenyra to hand the throne to Aegon. And Alicent's like, what? You were scheming here? And they're like, oh, you didn't need to be part of our dark, evil schemes. Like, what are you guys fucking talking about? I thought Alicent was part of the plan. I thought she was part of the game. It seemed, but she knew none of this. Apparently, Otto didn't tell her anything. Like, why? But wasn't she part of the plan now? Ever since she went off on Rhaenyra, like 2 episodes ago, he thought she didn't have the resolve before. But it seemed like she did now. And even another part of this episode, we get that scene with Lord Jair's stronghold. It seemed like she was using him to like get what she wanted, and she just had no idea of this coup apparently. So I don't know why he was here. There are no consequences to this man's death, so it just makes no sense. Even though Otto himself threatens other lords in this episode, later on, he threatens them and like, get on my side or you're dead. He could have just said that with him, but I guess it didn't matter. What does that mean? Did the show not care about this guy at all? The consequences for Kristen's actions here are just not unfounded. No one seems to really care about this man. See, they didn't even have a fight. Honestly, he comes back later, but it doesn't matter. I'm just so confused. Even like Alicent's role in the story now. I thought she was asserting herself more as an actual character, not being a puppet to Otto. Excuse me, need a little drink. I thought which is what her character was. She was basically being dragged around by like her father, the king, basically all her attendants. It didn't matter, anyone, even her own children. Not, but since episode 7, again, I believe is the episode where she went off. Or even like after that, even like episode 6, when she basically got Christian Cole to her side as like an ally. She was finally not like a puppet anymore, quote unquote. She was thinking for herself. She was playing the Game of Thrones. It seems, but in this episode they just completely flip that. It doesn't make sense. Her character actions don't make sense here in this episode even. Or in Otto's too. Like nothing that happened here in this interval of like this guy dying and what's happening in this table, what they're talking about makes any sense. Like it's so like out of character for like what's happening between these two. Yeah, I don't like it. So this is like problem number one. And this is another problem with this episode. Most of this episode is Otto and Alicent needing to find Aegon. Aegon has just disappeared. Literally, he's just gone for no reason. This episode is literally like a. I have to also explain this too, because it's so weird how Rhaenyra and Daemon just aren't here. They're just at Dragonstone, even though it's literally been one night since Viserys died. Literally, it's been one night. This is from last episode. It's been one day, and Rhaenyra and Daemon just aren't here at all. They're just gone. Corlys's wife is here for some reason. She's still here after like the proceedings in the last episode. Daemon and Rhaenyra just left, I guess, in one night. Where'd they go? Dragonstone, I guess. It's not really explained. Like, what happened to their presence? And they're gone. So throughout more than half this episode, after that, literally, it's just Otto and everybody trying to find Aegon so they can put him on the throne. Aemond is not too happy about this. So this pacing this episode is like really weird. Um, it's like really weird like dialogue, and then like all this other weird dialogue of people trying to find Aegon, and no one can find him. Aemond is salty that he's not going to be king. He doesn't believe his brother's really worthy of being king. Aegon himself doesn't want to be king, but they're still going to put him on the throne anyway, even though like the last bits of this episode. That is a huge chunk really of this episode, just finding Aegon. We get a little like introspective onto like what's going on in King's Landing. So apparently this is just I guess a non like a critical thing about this episode. You know before that. Again, this is the part where we're bringing people in. Otto's like bringing all the lords in. No one's going in or out. King is dead. We're taking over. The coup is happening. But Otto's not even being like how would you say secretive about the coup? It's like so like out in the forefront. Like, oh yeah, we're doing this. Like and he's taking over all these lords except for this guy. This guy dies. It doesn't matter. It's Jairus. Um, he's taking over all these lords. He's taking over King's Landing. He's making moves to the Civil War is gonna happen. Obviously, there's no doubt about it. Sorry, I need another drink. I got a sore throat today, guys. Let me just eat some ice as well. um, and there, it's just I'm just like I don't know why is it so like out in the front, like this, like you're not even trying to hide your intentions at all. Is it just the time to do it now? But don't you think you should still be like hiding your intentions from like maybe the people of the realm possibly, not so as like not to cause more chaos, right? It seems like more a prudent choice than what you're actually doing in this episode. Like a lot of like I feel like characters are making like more mistakes that they wouldn't actually do. And in this, we also get the feet meme. That's definitely gonna be a meme here. Lord Jairus, is just we can skip all this dumb dialogue here. This sort of maybe not might not matter. Well, I guess it does matter for the ending. Alicent's trying to get Lord Corlys's wife, I forget her name, under her side, and they're having like big talk discussions about the crown and the throne, and how like the owner of the stepping stones and the Lord of Tides, and you can be part of that now. You can be on our side. And you don't have to be with Daemon. He's evil, and Rhaenyra is not on your side. And you don't have to die. You can be on my side. Stuff like that. It's like her place in this, like her role in this series has been. Oh, like I don't know. We don't really know much about her character, and we know this is another problem with the time skips. Hasn't the time skips have been taking literally time out of the equation to like know some characters and their developments over the years. And it's been 20 years since the first episode, literally 20 years. And there again, so there are things that are missing, like maybe like key points of information of character development. I've said this in other episodes. I knew it was going to be a problem, and it's like really showing now that it is a problem. And that stuff needs to be fixed in the next season when they're gonna do that. Maybe like don't have such super large time skips. Even though the show does take its time to explain things that are happening during those time skips, sometimes it's just not good enough because there's like tons of detail that's just being left out. She's in a rock, so basically she's in a rock and a hard place. She doesn't really know what to do. She's gonna get out though, and we'll see what's gonna happen to her at the ending of the episode. We'll get into that. First, I want to get to like the weird feet stuff. So again, I already said it. Most of this episode is just like finding Aegon so we can get Aegon to be king, and then some other weird dialogues. A lot of weird writing and choices between characters. Um, During this, we find out in King's Landing that the lords are having like child battles. Like here, uh, Otto's talking to this girl, and this is like Daemon's like mistress, I believe, back in like the first episode. She hasn't been important at all, so I don't know where her role again is in the story. Just like all these characters we're seeing now. Um, there's been like child like fighting rings in King's Landing in like the slums. Uh, she's like, all right, we actually stole Aegon while he was here, and you can have him back, but we want the kids to stop like killing each other. It's also apparently implied that like Aegon's been siring like tons of bastards, which I guess makes sense. He hasn't learned his lesson from like what his mom told him back in like episode 6 or 7 when he was splatting, where Tommen splatted. Oh my god. Yo, where he's fucking like jerking his pickle. Oh my god. He didn't learn his lesson. He's still the obnoxious kid that just wants to fuck girls. He doesn't want to be king. That's okay. That's his character. Even though like what he does in this episode kind of goes against that. He's being forced into it though, I guess. So, but then we just haven't seen a lot. We haven't seen so much introspective, about his like mind, what he really, really wants. But we have seen like what Aemond wants. Sorry, I need another drink. My throat's dry again. So this is just like a negotiation tactic, honestly. She takes Aegon, talks to Otto. Listen, we'll give him your king back. We're here. The reason you're up there is because we made you up there. We the people. It's like, don't forget that, Otto. Otto's like, yeah, we won't forget that. She's probably gonna die, honestly. In some way, shape, or form. I don't. She's not actually important. There's just like causing conflict where there doesn't actually need to be conflict. Like just extra conflict or extra drama, right? Almost like this episode's like dragging in certain parts, and then it's like going really fast in certain parts. So it's I wasn't like too thrilled about what happened in this episode. It was quite boring. All these parts about finding Aegon. Do we get to the feet part and they find him here? It's all good. And he's like, oh, I don't want to be king. These guys find him. Oh, you're gonna be king. They end up fighting. End up having a little spat here. Aegon gets a little scared. He thinks Aemond is going to kill him, because Aemond does want to be king. And Aegon's like, listen, you can be king. Aegon's like, no, you're going to be king. Really weird. Like at this point, Aemon you should have just killed your brother. Like, Christian is on your side more than Aegon is, and they're in like an open space though. They're like fighting in this like open territory. We don't know exactly where they are, but there are people everywhere. But honestly though, Aegon, you could have like taken him to a place, like a quiet place. Maybe like trapped Aegon in some way, shape or form. I made him feel secure and then kill him and like, oh, Aegon's dead. You should make me as king because I'm worthy. People aren't really helping Aegon in this situation. People are fighting. But that doesn't happen. Aemon doesn't like do that, even though it almost seemed like that was the choice that Aemon should have made. Like just like character wise, he should have done that. Maybe not here again at the specific place where they are right now, but they could have done it anywhere, but they didn't. And he lives. So Aegon's becoming a king now. Where is the part? Where is the feet part? If you've heard about it, you probably heard about it now. Lord Jairus seemed to. Here it is, right here. He likes feet. He likes the feet. He likes toes. He likes little piggies. Uh, this is just a really weird scene. It made me lose respect for Sir Stronghold here. Sir Stronghold wanted Alicent, but he just wanted to jerk off to her fucking piggies. But Why? Why her piggies? And Allison lets him do it. But there's no like this is the reward you wanted for helping Allison out. It seemed like. So do you want to be her wife? I'm sorry. Do you want her to be your wife? Do you want to be her husband? Do you want to be part of the High Towers? Do you want to be king? What are your actual ambitions here, Jairus? I'm confused, very confused. So this will be a huge meme now. The feet, Quentin Tarantino's feet, Allison's toes, her little piggies. I'm losing a little bit of respect for him here. Um, I'm not sure where his true ambitions lie anymore. He's still a fucked up person. Like he still killed his father and his brother. So he's still fucking crazy. I'm just not sure what his actual ambitions are. I thought before his ambitions were to he had some sort of desire for the queen and something else. But it's not. I'm just not sure. So the feet scene was weird. Made me lose a little respect for him. Allison seems complicit in like, oh, I'm just gonna let you jerk off to my feet. I'm not even okay. Some weird like. I guess this is her being more acting like a puppet. Like I'm gonna let you do this, but I'm not gonna let you fuck me, even though he probably could. Honestly, it's confusing, very confusing. And this is just a big portion of the episode until we get to like the big epic finale that happens. Oh yeah, and Sir Chloris's wife, a knight here. I believe this is the knight that confronted Sir Christian Cole. I couldn't really tell. I'm sorry if it was him. It was dark. It's very dark scenes. It's hard. I don't. Maybe it's not him. It's someone who's not. They killed him, by the way, because he wasn't having it. He didn't want to do treason with Otto. Again, Otto just like, on the very like out in the forefront, just committing treason in front of everyone, and no one can do anything about it. I guess because they have all the power. They've taken control of like the city watch and the King's Guard. So they have all, and they have their high tower guards too as well. Anyway, he escorts her out. He wants to get her out of King's Landing. He's taking her to the Blackwater. In fact, and some crazy shit is going on. But they get interrupted by this big mob. It is the guy confronted. Oh no, it's not. It's the other guy. Fuck, I forget his name though. This is another thing. These characters, I just don't remember their names because they haven't been very important. Oh, it's the guy who fought Sir Christian Cole. That's the guy. It's the other guy in this episode. The brown hair beard guy. Um, the one of the twins. Anyway, he wants to get her out of here, and this scene is so weird. Like what happens to Sir Corliss's wife? I still can't remember her name. I'm sorry. Um, like what and just what happens and how this scene acts. So she gets flooded by the peasant crowd. She loses him, and she gets thrown. She didn't get thrown. She gets basically how would you say? She gets flowed. She doesn't want to go this way. She wanted to go into the Blackwater, but then she ends up going to the Dragon Pit, almost seemingly like this was supposed to happen in the first place. But she didn't. She wanted to leave King's Landing, and things were getting like crazy. So everyone's flooding here into like the Dragon Pit, and the I believe this is the Dragon Pit where they're gonna have the coronation of Aegon, and it's a nice scene, honestly. Like listen, the spectacle of like the sets here and like all the people, like is this CGI? Are these people CGI? Are these all extras? Possibly some of it's CGI, but there's gotta be they all look different at least. It's not like Rings of Power, right? Like I like this scenery. Most of the scenery in Rings of Power is fucking awful. This looks real. This looks good, like an actual set with some CGI backgrounds and stuff. But it like this is like culminating in like a season of like good writing, right? But then maybe not so much this episode, unfortunately. But I like all the sets. All the sets, like you get to see King's Landing, you can see the area they're at, you can see all these big towers and like the designs of these buildings, and everything looks really cool. I love it. I actually love it a lot. But everything culminates in this final act where okay, finally, Aegon he has I forget the name of the sword, Black Rider, Black Witch, or something like that. Viserys' sword, or Aegon the First Conqueror's sword, and he finally gets coronated. Um, right here. And that's that. It seems like he's taking it very well. Corliss's wife just slips away, leaves down into the depths of the dragon pit, and after his coronation, everyone now knows about the coup. No one can really do anything about it, I guess. This is what they're doing. This is, choose your sides. Who do you think is right? Who do you think is wrong? Also, like, it seems the episode, Allison is like, again, I said it before. She was not complicit in like the actions of Otto, but like Allison is a horrible person too. It just doesn't make sense because before she wanted Aegon to be king, because she knew that if Ramiro became queen, she would kill like her half brothers, and her and Otto and everyone, and that's what would happen. So she wanted her family to be secure. So I just don't understand like why Allison seems so innocent, even though she's definitely not innocent. She should be more complicit in Otto's plans than this episode led on. It just doesn't make sense. Um, so he becomes king, and then we just get this fucking baffling scene, absolutely baffling. Aegon riles up the crowd. Looks cool, and out of nowhere, from the bottom of the pit, Corlys's wife just bursts her dragon through the scene. It's a cool looking scene. The spectacle, yes, but does it make sense? No, not at all, people. Don't let the spectacle fool you from the autism that's occurring here. She's killing all these peasants, basically, like, even asserting, like, the throne, the high towers, like, position here for taking the throne after killing all these people. It's really a shame. It doesn't. This also doesn't make sense for her character. Remember, like back in episode 1 or 2, where she's like, "Oh, if only women were ruling, a lot less people would be dead." For the ruling the throne other than men, right? It was a scene to Romero, and it was like, what are you doing here? Is this what you girls would do? Kill a bunch of peasants? That's okay. This is men wouldn't do this, right? Would they? I don't know. But what you're doing, it seems so nonchalant about it. Also, she just like bursts through like the floor of the ground, and is like she now has like this body armor on. Like, where'd you get that? Where'd that come from? Or where'd you get your dragon? How did you crawl here into this specific spot? How did you not get hurt when your dragon busts through the floor? There's not a scratch on you. You look immaculate for some reason. What's happening here? Why is this happening? It's even more baffling that in this scene, it's very clear that you're not on the green side, but you don't have your dragon. You have your dragon just scare the fuck out of them, but you don't kill them. Look at this scene. You could have ended it. You could have ended the Civil War here. Why didn't you? They didn't. She just decides not to for some reason. Her dragons here, they're unprotected. Some of them might be like Aemond is probably touched by fire, so you probably won't die by fire, but you could still kill Allison. You could still probably kill Aegon. You could kill Otto. You can kill Christian here. You can probably kill their sister. But you just don't. What was the point of the scene? You just let them fucking go. All the more bloodshed. You basically cause a bunch of bloodshed by not killing them. Like what? That's almost parallel to the scene where like Cersei doesn't kill Tyrion or Daenerys when they in like what was it episode 4 of season 8 when when my Sunday died. And they just come to the gates and they kill her though, but they're right there, they're ready to die, and they just don't kill her. It's like this scene. Like, what's happening here? Why didn't you kill them? This like weird CGI here. It's almost like, look at that. What? It's almost like he just like shrunk down to fit through these fucking doors. How did that happen? The dragon just like shrunk itself with like a shrink ray to get through here. Crazy. Crazy. Again, so this scene doesn't make sense. This is another writing issue. Well, you made this situation happen. She should have obviously just killed them. Obviously. Everything would have been done. It's just a horrible, stupid decision. I believe she would have killed them. Why not? Why not? Why wouldn't she do that? I don't know. Jesus. This is so tons. Don't let the spectacle fool you from the autism that's occurring, the stupidness from this scene, and the problems this is gonna cause like in the future of the show. Is this like, the correct like? Is this in line with her character specifically? Well, I don't think there's enough information to really decide that. I think there is enough information to decide that she would kill them. Why not? She was, we've heard about her exploits in her past. Why wouldn't she just kill them after everything that's happened? Even she's gonna be on Ramirez's side now, so what? Yeah, this seems prudent. Just kill them. Then the war's over. Then there is no war, even, right? But now there is because of this one decision that she decided not to do. Think of all the people that she's gonna inadvertently let dies. Through all the war that's gonna happen, all the people she's gonna kill with her dragon. This is a mess. It's a mess. This episode, it didn't cut it. Tons of writing inconsistencies. Um, I still enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy it. Yes, I still enjoy the show for certain. Absolutely. But this episode, it was not good. It was not good at all. Mm-mm. Lots of issues, all those problems. I'm a little worried now, honestly, after this episode. Maybe just a little bit. I still think they can bring it together in a satisfying end. There's only one episode left, and then they're gonna have another, season 2 and possibly season 3. I don't know what's gonna happen. Book readers out there, they know what's gonna happen. There's like some big shit coming up. Um, so they've got things. They're complaining about like other things about this episode that just don't make sense in regards to the book, as well. I've heard like around. I've been watching like videos to try and make sense of what happened in this episode because they're kind of crazy. But it seems some big things are like happening. I try not to spoil myself too much. I spoil myself maybe a little bit. Like I know about like the siege of the dragon pit, but not like the finer details of it. Um, that's okay. So it seems like big events are about to happen. Not in the next episode though. I don't think. Maybe if there's a season 2, because I can't. There's just not enough time to wrap this up right now in the next episode. So I don't know. I'm just not. I'm not very happy with the writing inconsistencies here. Uh, um, Direction wise, music wise, set wise, and acting wise, everything is as good as it has been. Since for the since the first episode of the series, like HBO, Game of Thrones level of like, oh, this is really good, enjoyable. Really, you can watch the episode and be happy. But then once you start to think about what's actually happening in this episode, everything starts not everything. Some things are breaking down, and that's not a good thing. It's losing points. The show is losing points in this episode for certain, losing points for the series as a whole, just in this one episode, and that's not a good thing, unfortunately. There's not much we can do now about it, but which I have to live with that. I guess we just have to see what happens next. I'm still excited. I still like the show. I'm just not happy with this episode. But how they couldn't get better than episode 8, honestly. Anyway, but still, this is like a level of oof. Something happened here, like in the writings room, where they're just skipping shit, and it seemed like almost all that stuff like didn't matter. They're really just the pacing is just even quickened even more somehow. And they're ah ugh ugh. How much I could say anymore about it. Okay, I think I'm done rambling about it, guys. Tell me what you thought about the episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? How do you think about the inconsistencies? What do you think is gonna come next? Please tell me. All right, that's it. You guys have a nice night. See ya.